The call came on a Tuesday morning. "This is First National Bank calling about your loan payment. You're 93 days past due on account ending in 7392. I stared at my phone. I didn't have a loan. I told the agent there had to be a mistake. She put me on hold. 2 minutes later, she came back with my social security number, my birth date, and a loan amount that made my stomach drop. $45,000. I hung up and called my sister. She answered on the fourth ring. "Did you take out a loan in my name?" Silence. Then that laugh, the one she always used when she got caught. "Oh my God, you're seriously mad about this. It's just paperwork. I'll handle it." "You forged my signature for $45,000. Why are you being so selfish? This is what family does. We help each other." I had no idea how deep this went, but I was about to find out. Before we get into it, drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from and what time it is there. And if you've ever been blamed for calling out someone else's mess, hit that like button. You're going to want to stick around for this. My sister and I grew up in the same house, but we lived in different worlds. She was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. I was the responsible one, the one who fixed things. When we were teenagers, she totaled my car. My parents made me add her to my insurance and split the payments. When she racked up $600 on my Amazon account, they told me to work it out with her. When she needed a cosigner for an apartment in college, she used my information on the application without asking. The landlord called me directly. I had to threaten legal action just to get my name removed. My parents sat me down after that one. "Why do you always have to make such a big deal out of everything? She's your sister." I moved out the day after graduation. I worked 2 jobs to build my credit back up. I kept every receipt, every bank statement, every piece of paper with my name on it. I scanned documents and stored them in the cloud. My life became a filing cabinet, and I was fine with that, because I learned early. People will rewrite history if you let them, but documents don't lie. She'd asked to borrow my information before, for credit cards, for financing, for background checks. I always said no, so this time she didn't ask. The bank call wasn't random. It was inevitable. I drove to her house that afternoon. She opened the door with a smile like nothing had happened. "Hey, what's up?" "We need to talk about the loan." She rolled her eyes and stepped aside. I walked into her living room. Her kids were at school. Her husband was at work. It was just us. "I talked to the bank," I said. "There's a $45,000 loan in my name. I never signed anything." "Okay, look, I can explain. Go ahead." She sat down on the couch and folded her arms. "I told you about this back in March. Remember? We were at Mom's, and I said I needed help consolidating some debt. You said you'd co-sign." I stared at her. "I have never co-signed anything for you. Ever." "God, you're always so dramatic. It was one conversation. You probably just forgot." "I didn't forget. I wasn't even at Mom's in March. I was in Denver for work." Her face twitched, just for a second. "Well, the bank will sort it out. I'm sure it's just a system error." System error with my social, my birth date, and my signature?" She stood up. "You know what? I'm done with this. If you want to destroy me over a misunderstanding, fine. But Mom's going to be so disappointed when she hears you're threatening me over money." She walked to the door and opened it. "Fix it yourself if you care so much." She slammed it behind me. I sat in my car for 10 minutes, shaking. She'd lied before, but this time, she'd committed fraud, and I was the one holding the bill. The next morning, I called the bank back. I asked to speak to the fraud department. They pulled up my account. The loan had been opened 6 weeks earlier. It was submitted online with my social security number, my birth date, and a scanned copy of my signature. The funds had been sent to an account I didn't recognize. "So what do?" I asked. You'll need to file a police report for identity theft, then submit a fraud affidavit. Until then, the debt is legally yours. I pulled my credit report that afternoon. My score had dropped 140 points. I felt sick. An hour later, my phone rang. It was my mom. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. Your sister just called me in tears. She said you're accusing her of stealing from you. How could you say something like that? She made a mistake with some paperwork and you're trying to destroy her. Call me back. I deleted it. My dad texted me 20 minutes later. We need to talk about this situation with your sister. You're blowing this way out of proportion. For a moment, just a moment, I thought maybe I was crazy. Maybe I had forgotten. Maybe I'd agreed to something and blocked it out. Then I opened my laptop. I hadn't forgotten. I had proof. I went into my cloud storage and pulled every document from April. The loan application had a timestamp. April 18th, 2:14 in the afternoon. I opened my work calendar. April 18th. I had a meeting that ran from 1:30 to 4. I pulled my building's keycard logs. I'd requested them months earlier for a separate expense report, and I still had the file. I scanned down to April 18th. Entry, 1:47 p.m. Exit, 5:32 p.m., 85 miles from where my sister lived. I screenshot everything. Then I looked at the loan metadata the bank had sent me. Every online application logs an IP address. I ran it through a free geolocation tool. The application had been submitted from her city, not mine. I had proof I didn't sign it. Now I just had to prove she did. I emailed copies of everything to my personal account and to a friend I trusted. Insurance. Then I sent a formal dispute letter to the bank with all of it attached. The bank replied in 48 hours. Thank you for submitting your dispute. We've escalated this to our fraud investigation team. You should hear back within 10 business days. I had 10 days, maybe less, because I knew my sister, and I knew she wasn't going to let this go quietly. 3 days later, my phone exploded. It was a group text. My parents, my sister, 2 aunts, and my brother. My sister had written a novel. I'm reaching out because I'm really hurt and confused. I made a mistake on some loan paperwork and accidentally used the wrong information. I've been trying to fix it, but instead of working with me, my sibling is threatening to file a police report and destroy my life. I have 2 kids. I'm asking everyone to please help me resolve this as a family before it goes too far. My brother replied first. Wait, what? Can someone call me? Then my mom. We need to sit down and handle this face to face. This is getting out of hand. I muted the thread. An hour later, my dad called. I answered. Do you really want to send your sister to jail over money? She committed fraud, Dad. She made a mistake. You're turning this into something it doesn't have to be. She stole my identity and tanked my credit. And she's willing to work it out. But not if you're going to act like this. I hung up. That night, my sister texted me directly. If you file that police report, I lose everything. My job does background checks. My kids lose their mom. Is that really what you want? Think about them. Don't be selfish. I stared at that word. Selfish. I had 7 days left before the bank's deadline. And I was done protecting someone who had never protected me. The bank's fraud department called me on day 5. We've completed our initial review. We're going to need you to come in and look at some documents. I went in that afternoon. The investigator pulled up 2 images on her screen. The first was my signature from when I'd opened my account in 2019. The second was the signature on the loan application. They weren't even close. My real signature has a loop on the capital letter. The loan signature was shaky and flat. It looked like someone had traced it with a mouse. This is a digital overlay, the investigator said. No pressure variation. Likely copied and pasted from another document. She pulled up the application details. The contact phone number on file wasn't mine. I didn't recognize it. She ran it. It was my sister's cell. Then she showed me the deposit account. The $45,000 had been sent to a joint account. My sister's name was on it. The account had been opened 1 week before the loan was approved. "This is textbook identity theft," the investigator said. "We'll support a police report, and we'll work with you on the affidavit." I walked out of that bank with a folder full of documents. She hadn't just stolen my identity. She'd left a paper trail, and now it was evidence. I didn't want to hire a lawyer, but I did. I found someone who specialized in identity theft and fraud cases. I paid for a 2-hour consultation. She listened to everything. Then she pulled public records. "Your sister's in trouble," she said. She showed me the report. $38,000 in credit card debt. A car repossession notice filed 3 months earlier. An eviction notice from 2 months before the loan. She'd applied for 3 different personal loans in the 60 days before she used my name. All of them had been denied. "Her credit's destroyed," the lawyer said. "She couldn't borrow $1. So she borrowed yours." It clicked. The $45,000 wasn't for something fun. It was survival, or what she thought was survival. She'd been drowning. And instead of asking for help, she decided to drag me under with her. "She gambled that you wouldn't escalate," the lawyer said. "That family pressure would make you back down." I looked at the numbers on the page. The dates, the denials. She didn't see me as a person. She saw me as a credit score. I'd spent my whole life bailing her out, covering for her, taking the hit so she didn't have to. She thought this was just one more time. But it wasn't. Now I knew exactly what to do. And why I had to do it. I made 3 moves in one day. First, I went to the police station. I brought every document. The signatures, the timeline, the phone number, the joint account. I filed a report for identity theft. I walked in at 9 a.m. I walked out at 10:32 with a case number. Second, I submitted a fraud affidavit to the bank and all 3 credit bureaus. I attached the police report, the evidence, and a formal request to freeze the fraudulent account and remove the derogatory marks from my credit. Third, I had my lawyer draft a letter. It was 1 page. It gave my sister 2 options. Sign a notarized repayment agreement for the full amount, plus my legal fees and credit repair costs, $6,800 total, paid over 18 months. Or the case would be forwarded to the prosecutor with a recommendation to file charges. She had 14 days. The letter went out certified mail. I didn't call my parents. I didn't argue in the group chat. I didn't explain myself. I just let the documents do the talking. Then I blocked the family group thread and set a boundary I should have set years ago. "I'll talk when this is resolved, not before." I didn't need them to understand. I needed them to stop. I went home that night and slept better than I had in weeks. I didn't tell her what was coming. I just let it come. The bank closed their investigation on day 8. The email came at 6:43 in the morning. "After reviewing all submitted evidence, we have determined that the account in question was opened fraudulently. The debt has been discharged from your credit profile. All derogatory marks will be removed within 30 days. The account has been closed and flagged. We will be cooperating with law enforcement as needed." I forwarded it to my lawyer. An hour later, the police called. They were forwarding the case to the county prosecutor. "We have enough for charges," the detective said. "But if restitution is made and the victim agrees, the prosecutor may choose a different route. That's up to you." I thanked him and hung up. That afternoon, my sister showed up at my apartment. My parents were with her. I opened the door but didn't invite them in. My sister's eyes were red. "Please," she said. "I'll pay you back. I swear, just stop this. Don't let them arrest me." I didn't say anything. My mom stepped forward. "Can we please just talk about this inside? As a family? No." I handed my sister a single piece of paper. The repayment agreement. "You have 2 choices. Sign this. $500 a month for 18 months. Notarized. It gets filed with the court. Or I do nothing and let the prosecutor decide." My dad looked at me like I was a stranger. "You'd really do this?" "She already did this. I'm just responding." My mom took the paper from my sister's hand and read it. Then she looked at the evidence packet I'd clipped to the back. The signatures, the timeline, the joint account. Her face changed. "You forged her signature?" My sister started crying. I was desperate. I didn't have a choice. "You had a choice," I said. "You could have asked. You could have filed bankruptcy. You could have called a financial counselor. Instead, you stole my identity and tried to guilt me into taking the fall." My dad opened his mouth, then closed it. My sister looked at the paper again. If I sign this, does the criminal case go away? My lawyer will file it as a restitution agreement. The prosecutor usually won't move forward if restitution is being made and I don't push it. But you miss one payment and I push it. She looked at my mom. My mom said nothing. She signed. I had my partner notarize it right there in the hallway. They'd been waiting inside. My mom handed the paper back to me. She looked at me for a long time. I didn't think you'd actually do it. I know, I said. That was the problem. They left. I closed the door. For the first time in my life, I watched my sister face a consequence she couldn't cry her way out of. 6 months later, my phone buzzes with a payment notification. Payment 4 of 18. $500. On time. My lawyer monitors it. Every month, the same day, the payment comes through. My credit score is back to 720. The derogatory marks are gone. The fraud flag on my file actually helped. It's documented proof that I was a victim, not a risk. I check my report every month now. I froze my credit with all 3 bureaus. No one can open anything in my name without a PIN only I know. My sister and I don't talk. She kept her job. She kept her kids. But she lost the free pass. Her husband found out everything. I don't know what happened after that. It's not my business anymore. My parents apologized, sort of. My mom sent a text 6 weeks after the signing. I'm sorry we didn't listen sooner. We just didn't want to believe it. I met them for coffee a month ago. It was awkward. But it was real. I didn't let them rug sweep. I didn't pretend it was fine. I told them exactly what boundary I needed. They either respect it, or we don't have a relationship. They're trying. Slowly. I don't know if we'll ever get back to normal. But I'm not sure I want normal. Normal was me losing so they could feel comfortable. People ask me if I feel guilty. I don't. I feel free. My sister called me selfish for protecting what I built. Turns out, that's called self-respect. She gambled that I'd choose peace over justice, that I'd eat the debt, take the credit hit, and smile at Thanksgiving. She was wrong. I didn't do this for revenge. I did it because I deserved better than being someone's credit score. And because the people who love you don't steal from you. They don't forge your name, and they don't call you selfish when you refuse to be a victim. I still have all the documents, the signatures, the timeline, the agreements, not because I'm holding a grudge, but because I learned a long time ago, documents don't lie. People do. I saved everything, and in the end everything saved me. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had to choose between family loyalty and protecting yourself? Have you ever been called selfish for setting a boundary? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And if this helped you see that you're not wrong for refusing to be someone's doormat, hit that subscribe button. You're not selfish. You're smart. One last thing. This story is a fictionalized dramatization for educational and entertainment purposes. It is not legal or financial advice. If you're dealing with identity theft or fraud, talk to a licensed attorney and report it to the authorities. Protect yourself. You deserve that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.